What up, y'all? This is Astro here, chilling with y'all, letting y'all know what's up with this motherfucking. No, so let me stop. I'm sorry. I don't know who I am right now. I don't know who I am. Anyways, what's up, y'all? Actually, see, this is what you get when you're you hang out with a son of the 12th type of person. You just like turn to different people. I'm truly a chameleon. Okay. Anywho, what's up, y'all? This is Astro here. Letting y'all know what's up when it comes to this new moon in Scorpio, baby. Goodness gracious. Aren't you excited? It's wild. It's gonna be wild in this bitch. So it's gonna happen November 7th, 2018, of course, around 11:04 a.m. Eastern Standard Time if you're in the US. Eastern Standard Time, okay? And it's gonna be like 15 degrees Scorpio. 15 degrees 11 minutes in Scorp, okay? It's no new moon. And so, new moon is basically when the moon and the sun are conjuncting very close to each other, getting nice and snuggly wuggly. Okay? Now, the interesting part about this is that, 1 in 5 of the 15 degrees reduces to 6. And the 6 is interesting. I know in tarot, the 6 is all about reflection, thinking back, giving back. You know what I mean? Not forgetting where you came from. So I feel like this is going to be quite a humbling new moon. Okay? Quite a humbling new moon. So for instance, right? The 6 of Cups is the soulmate card. So hey, you might get connected with a soulmate, right? But most of all, the 6 of Cups is asking you to reflect on some emotional situations you've been through, whether good or bad, happy or sad. Just be reflective and think about what you've learned, in the past and how it changed you. You get what I'm saying? The 6 of Wands is you reflecting on your victory. You're coming home, you won this victory, you're very proud, and you're basking in the awesomeness, right? From people just being happy for you and congratulating you. But beyond just people congratulating you, you're feeling happy about yourself. You're reflecting on what you did to win, and you just feel good, generally. 6 of Wands is one of the most litest cards, okay? 6 of Pentacles is literally a richer person given to the poor. When you think about the 5 of Pentacles is a person being poor. But then finally, in the 6 of Pentacles, an investor or just a given person gives to the poor. You know what I mean? So the interesting thing is that the rich person is reflecting to the moment when they were once poor, when they once couldn't make it, and when they really wanted someone to invest in them and care about them. And so they're like, you know what? I'm going to give to you. And then lastly, with the 6 of Swords, it's, a regretful but a needed transition. Sort of like a rite of passage, right? And so this is like you saying, like, you know what? I'm ready to go. It really is. You think of the, 5 of Swords is all this fighting, right? Fighting with your words. 6 of Swords is like, you know what? I gotta go. And while you're going through this rite of passage, right? While you're going through this transition, you're thinking back on how did I get there in the first place. So do you get what I mean with this whole reflection and humbling type of moon? That's what I'm really feeling here. Now, if we use the 11 minutes with this too, this will reduce to 8. I believe so. Let's see if it reduces to 15. But will I do 15 plus 11? Oh no, because I can do like 1 plus 5 plus 1 plus 1, right? It's 1 plus 5 is 6 plus 1 is 7 plus 1 is 8. So I'll do it like that instead of like 15 and 11, because I don't know if it'll equal the same. I'm talking a lot. Yeah, it would actually, because it'll equal 26. And 2 plus 6 equals 8. So no matter what is 8. Ha! Go math class. Okay, so let's even talk about 8, 8 is a very solid number. I'm getting my shit together, working hard, and getting my mind right. Right? The 8 of wands is you pushing forward. You, creativity, ideas, situations are coming at you fast. Coming at you fast and furiously, right? Furiously, right? And then like 8 of Pentacles, that vibe is you working hard, you doing the apprentice work needed to kind of get yourself into a better situation. You having the idea and being like, you know what, now I'm ready to work at it. Now I'm ready to get my abundance, because after the 8 of Pentacles is the 9 of Pentacles, is which you start seeing things coming into fruition, but it's just the beginning. You get what I'm saying? Now, the 8 of Cups is a whole nother bag. The 8 of Cups is interesting. It's someone walking away, similar to the 6 of Swords. They're really emotional. They're sad. They went through the 5 of Cups, but now they're like, you know what? I need to go. You know what I mean? I need to just step out and move on. You felt like you were abandoned. You are extremely saddened, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna make my own moves and go where I'm more wanted. It could represent escapism too, but you're definitely just withdrawing from yourself here. But similar to the 8 of Pentacles and the 8 of Wands, you are making that decision to make that change. It's really a transition number. 8 is. Even if you think of astrology, the 8th house is the transition house, right? And then next and lastly, it's the 8 of Swords, is self-imposed isolation. Your eyes are covered. You're wrapped up. You have swords all around you. You're isolating yourself. And it's you isolating yourself in your mind, and you trying to work out things in your mind. Again, this is you doing this to yourself, feeling that you need to do this. You get what I'm saying? So think about those numbers while I give you this reading, especially with that 8 connection. You get what I'm saying? An 8th house Scorpio. Not only are we having these humbling moments, these revealing moments, but we are transitioning from them and saying, all right, this happened. Now I need to go ahead and take some action and move from there. You have to remember, this is a new moon, right? And so new moon is like you experiencing something and getting ready to go ahead and make a change now. New moon is where you make the change. Full moon is where you release. So don't forget about that. All right. So anyways, let's talk about the new moon in general, right? So the new moon, if like I said before, is when the sun and the moon is at the same exact degree in the same exact sign. That's when it's a true new moon, but it's when the energies are conjuncting. You know what I mean? That's when it's like really potent full moon too. It's the most potent, of course, when it's exact. But the new moon energy, because these are 2 of our luminaries, right? These 2 important bodies to Earth, right? That this energy will last for a week. Having, the 7th, the day of the new moon, right in the middle, right? As the 4th day. 3 days prior to the new moon is potent, and 3 days after new moon is important. Still all potent ass energies. And so we're going to be feeling that potency, of course, throughout the month, but especially in that week. And we can also bring in these new transformative situations and new transformative opportunities into our lives by doing some new moon rituals, okay? And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to explain this new moon to you, right? Of course. And get you in the mind frame of what do I need to focus on? What do I need to let go? What do I need to transition from? What do I need to do to make that change in my life? Remember, we're talking about Scorpio here, okay? And Scorpio is all about transformation. Scorpio is all about intimately bonding with others and transforming into one. It's about different types of intimacy. Intimacy has layers. I say this all the time. And I say it all the time for a reason, okay? Intimacy has layers. There's financial intimacy. There's sexual intimacy. There's romantic intimacy. There's emotional intimacy. There's spiritual intimacy. There's energetic intimacy. There's lots of intimacies. Intimacy is just two things coming into one and knowing, these two things knowing each other in depth. You know what I mean? Knowing the secrets, the taboo information, the darkness within each other. And that's why 8th house love and 8th house situations are so potent. You get what I'm saying? So think about that. Okay. Now, what does this new moon specifically mean? Now, actually, let me not talk about this new moon specifically. Let me talk about new moon in general. So like I said before, new moon is when the sun and the moon are, it's the same sign. It's truly the new moon. It's the same degree, right? But what we need to do when this is happening is set manifestations, set intentions to what we want in our life, connected to Scorpio-like things. Like I said before, intimacy, transformation, emotional bonding. Again, the multiple layers of intimacy. Death and rebirth, all that stuff, right? That's the things that we need to really, really focus on and ask for this new beginning to arise, right? So, the reason why it's really important to do that at that specific time with the new moon is that our emotions and our identity or self-expression is aligned because they're both in Scorpio mode, right? The moon represents our deepest emotions and the sun represents our identity and our self-expression. And so what we're reacting to is the same as how we feel deep inside. And because we are so aligned, this is where we can really, really focus specifically on how we feel, what we want, what changes that we need. Now with the full moon, the moon is in one end of the chart and the sun is at the other end. So we are expressing ourselves one way, but we're feeling the complete opposite. New moon, we're all aligned. We're feeling the same way as we're reacting, and vice versa. So this is why it's a great time. We're aligned and we're able to now call in the things that we need to call in our lives, that we really want to deep down inside call into our lives. Okay. So that's why that shit is important. Now this new moon again brings in transformation, intimacy, death, rebirth, just a new life, a new dawn, a new day. You know what I mean? To bring things to light. If there's some secrets that you really want to get into and you feel like you really need your eyes open on, great time to set those new intentions to bring that into light. A lot of people are saying that because both of our luminaries are in some of the darkest parts of the chart, right? Because the 8th house represents, secrecy, divination, death, sex, like all the things that are dark, things that people don't really talk about that much. Since both our luminaries are there, people are assuming that, okay, that means a lot of secrets would be put into light, which is true. It could happen for sure. Definitely see the connection there. But for some people, it may not be. Because it may be just you keeping things in the dark without you realizing it. You subconsciously doing that. And you're like, oh, I get this now. You get what I'm saying? It might be you putting things in the dark and not even realizing it, and it's a self-realization moment, right? But the thing is, it is going to be connected with someone that you're bonded with you're close with. There's going to be two people involved some way, somehow. Okay? Because that's what Scorpio's all about. You know, that deep emotional bond and intimacy. And you need that with two people, with two entities. You get what I'm saying? Now, that's what this new moon specifically is about. Now, this new moon is in the Neptune decade. The Neptunian decade of Scorpio. Okay? And with that, it's really, really interesting. I mentioned to you guys how I thought it was quite interesting how this Venus retrograde starts at the very first degree of the Neptune decade of Scorpio, preparing us for this, us to meet this spiritual person, or connect with this person that we have a spiritual connection with. But we're prepping, okay? We're prepping for this person, and we are prepping for them by really reflecting on not only what we want in intimacy, but what is intimacy to us, and what do we want in relationships, and what does relationship mean to us as well. You know what I mean? Like, what do we really need? It beyond just, you know, what socially we think we need. What do we emotionally need? What do we physically need? What do we spiritually need when it comes to intimacy and relationships, right? Well, this is actually reiterating this whole thing because, again, there goes the Neptune decade of Scorpio. Now, when I talk about relationships, it could be romantic or platonic, business, whatever, right? But a lot of people are thinking more on a romantic side because the 8th house, you get to know people's in-depth info. It's their darkest secrets, what makes them them. Of course, you can do that with most relationships, but a lot of people do that mostly with their major, important, significant other. Okay. But with that being said, though, with this being a Neptune decade of Scorpio, you know, again, Scorpio is all about, you know, intimacy, deep emotional bonds. And Neptune's all about spirituality, all about spiritual connection, all about connecting with these unseen entities through our intuition, including some significant others and including the spiritual partnerships that we have. You may be spiritually connected with someone that lives in Beijing, right? And there's no way for you to contact them and talk to them because you don't know them yet. And they're all the way in Beijing, right? And you're in like Boston, Massachusetts, right? But y'all are connecting with each other intuitively. Okay? This is a strong indication that we are going to be really, really focusing on the intimacies or intimacy that we have with people that we have a spiritual connection with. And what we're doing at this time is, of course, learning about intimacy and relationships, just like with Venus retrograde trying to push. But we're learning more Neptunian things as well, such as how we are institutionalized and how we can break out of it. How we handle our self-undoing. How do we self-sabotage ourselves? What helps us realize that, and how can we fix it? Right? Does it take us some self-realization through connecting with our guides, God and angels to help us realize our self-undoing? Do we also need another partner to help us with that? This is actually saying that, yeah, you probably do. That this lesson with this person is going to really help you with that. And that's why you have this spiritual connection, this karmic connection with this person. So it's really, really interesting. This is a really sultry, dark, disillusioned possibly type of energy that's happening here. It's going to be real spooky. Real spooky. Y'all think, new moons in the first decade of Scorpio's crazy? Child. We're going to be, we're going to be seeing some things, I feel. We're going to be seeing some things, okay? Now, let's talk about some of the aspects. Now, this is funny because, believe it or not, how the sky's looking, this new moon's only going to make 2 aspects that I feel that are notable. It's going to be sextiling Pluto and trining Neptune. Again, Pluto connected to Scorpio. Neptune is in the Neptune decan of Scorpio, this new moon. Isn't that wild? Isn't that wild, y'all? This continuous connection of Pluto and Neptune, Pluto and Neptune, Pluto and Neptune. We are spiritually connecting with our twin flames. We are spiritually connecting with our life partners. We are spiritually connecting with anybody we're supposed to have a spiritual connection with. Most likely they're a karmic connection too. Most likely we've walked this walk before. So this is like some deep shit, y'all. Some deep shit. And it's going to be beautiful. A lot of people are saying like, oh, there's going to be a lot of crazy things that are happening. Blase, blah. And yeah, I can see that. We do have this strange cardinal T-square happening during this time too. I get it. But with these aspects to this new moon, it's not going to be the new moon's fault. It's not going to be the new moon's fault at all. It's going to be more that cardinal, whatever's happening in the cardinal signs is their fault. Can't blame fixed signs this time. But, it's really going to be interesting. So let's talk about these aspects, y'all. After we talk about the aspects, what I'm going to do is pause the video. And for my Patreons, folks, I'm going to speak specifically about the connection with the fixed stars, and what this new moon means to you depending on what house it's in. And then I'm going to talk about the aspect patterns that are happening. Okay. I'll tell you the aspect patterns like generally, but I'm going to go real in depth for my Patreon folks. So if you're interested in that, support a homie. Support a homie, okay? It's only $2 a month and it ain't going to kill you. Okay? So anyways, let me continue with these aspects, all right? Now, this new moon is sextiling Pluto. Pluto's in 19 degrees Capricorn, okay? Now, with Pluto being in 19 degrees Capricorn, again, we're having this great, deep connection of empowering ourselves to get the status, reputation, and recognition, including career, that we want, right? We are really stepping in our authority and demanding the status, reputation, and recognition that we want. Okay. Now, this new moon is saying that yes, you can get that in your life. You can transform your life to get that status and reputation and recognition that you want. But you need to seriously be empowered deep down inside and really feel like I can do this. You know what I mean? You have to have that emotional drive to be able to do this. Think about Scorpio, right? Scorpio is fixed water, fixed, steady emotion that's fixated and it ain't going nowhere. You have to feel like that to get ready for this transformation. You have to really be that focused for that transformation in your life in order for it to actually manifest in recognition, in status, in career, in reputation, right? So what this aspect is kind of basically trying to beg you to do is, if you don't feel this empowerment deeply, and if you're not extremely fixated, or you feel like you are, but you can improve, that means you need to get deeper into your Scorpio, get deeper into your Pluto, and find someone that will help you with that. Remember, Scorpio is all about intimacy. You need two. It takes two for intimacy, right? It takes two people. You need to join with another person to build that shared worth, right? And within that shared worth, you empower each other and empower each other and empower each other to a point where you're so convinced that I can transform my life into whatever I want. And you're so convinced that you just do it. You get what I'm saying? You yank that status, that reputation, that career, that recognition that you want. You're like, give me that shit. Okay? You do what you need to do to make sure it gets done. All right? So that's why I feel like that aspect is really counting on there. And with the sun, both the luminaries, with the sun and the moon here, you're not only feeling it deep inside, you're expressing it outwardly. As above, so below. As within, so out. Right? And so it's just a strong, powerful moment to manifest here. Because you're feeling it in, you're feeling it out. And so the manifestation power is strong. Especially with that Pluto connection. Don't miss out on it. Okay? All right. Next is, and lastly, strange enough, I know it's weird. It's the first time that I only had two aspects to speak on. I mean, I could talk about different asteroids that are connected here, but you know, it's not as strong as these planetary connections. All right. So this new moon is trine Neptune retrograde, and I know you're like, Neptune retrograde, because I always talk about Neptune retrograde. But I'm going to talk about it again, motherfuckers. Listen. So, again, Neptune retrograde is the time for us to really practice strengthening our intuition. Okay? It's funny because I forgot who said it. Was it the Peace Dealer? He was saying that mumble rap is funny because it's kind of speaking on the future, how we just got to mumble to talk to understand each other because we're focusing on vibes. That's intuition, boo. That's intuition. That's us being telepathic practically. You get what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? And so what this aspect is kind of telling us, right, is saying, or actually this placement, because I'm specifically talking about Neptune retrograde now in Pisces, is that you need to practice your intuition. Practice talking to these unseen beings, these invisible beings, right, that are here to help you. Use your intuition to connect with them so you can help figure out your self-undoing, your self-sabotaging ways, and how you're institutionalized. Because you see, you're going to understand how, like, oh, these unseen entities are not institutionalized at all. Most of them aren't. How can I be free like that? I mean, I don't want to die. Like, dying's not going to be the best way to do it. How can I be free like that on Earth? You know what I mean? Because that's the big way that we self-sabotage, that we institutionalize ourselves for no reason. You know what I'm saying? And so with this new moon here, you know, you're in this vibe of connectivity. It is specifically more on a one-on-one basis, but it gets deeper because this new moon is in the Neptune decade of Scorpio. And so we are connecting with unseen entities, right? Through a deeper connection that we had probably in a past life. You know, we're having this deep connection through us going back into these relationships that we had in a past life and learning what like spiritual connection is through these relationships. You get what I'm saying? Through this intimacy. And so when we experience that spiritual connection, that spiritual relationship on a deeper level, we're getting more and more experience on like, oh, like, so this is how it is to connect with someone on a spiritual level. Well, how can I do that even more? How can I do that with more beings, more entities? It's not that this person's just that special. It's that I have a connection with them in particular, but I can do this with anybody. And that self-realization starts to happen. And you realize that you really institutionalize yourself. And we all are sabotaging ourselves through blocking ourselves and being a little too literal. You know what I mean? And we're going to start opening our minds a little bit more. I know I'm speaking real 12th house right now, but it's just the truth, okay? This is the fucking truth. But beyond that, though, you know, it's funny how the universe works, because what they do is give us these opportunities through giving us satisfaction so we can learn. And so especially with the new moon trining Neptune, some of the satisfaction is us being in love with this person we have a spiritual connection with, this intimacy with, or being close friends with someone that we have this intimacy with and spiritual connection with. Creating a bliss, creating harmony with that. You know what I mean? And us learning through happiness, through us learning through being just joyful. So again, there's a great chance of you connecting with someone that you had a spiritual connection with. But the overall lesson with that is not so 3D. The overall lesson of that is us learning how we are institutionalizing ourselves, right? And how we can have that connection with everybody. How we can have that connection with everybody and anybody if they just open up, and if you just open up. That person, of course, you feel like they're special, they are special. But that connection that you have with them, you can have with, you know, a lot of different people. It may not be as deep and as potent, but how you can have a telepathic conversation with someone, right? And how you can be like, oh, we just said the same thing at the same time. Why does it feel like he can read my mind? You know, yeah, the connection between you two is strong, right? It is a deep connection, but you can do that with anybody, though. But this particular person and y'all are teaching each other what that really means. How does that look? And how you can break yourself out of this social construct, right? And to have that connection with other people and other entities and God and angels and all that. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's going to be a fun lesson, right? It's going to be like a field trip, an awesome ass field trip, right? It's going to get deep in this motherfucker. All right. And I know you guys are like, oh my gosh, Demi, you're 12th house in right now. Yep, I am. I am, and I'm okay with it. I'm 12th house in, okay? Because it's, you need to. You guys need to understand the bigger lesson with just the, like, yeah, it's cute that we get to have our 3D shit. You know what I mean? It's nice. But it's a bigger lesson that you need to learn within the relationships, within the experiences that you have. Okay? It really is important. Now, I'm going to be ending off soon for the regular folk. But I do want to mention that there is a grand water trine between Jupiter, Chiron, and North Node. With the nodes, you only have to focus on the North Node, not the South Node, okay? But the grand water trine's dope. The grand water trine is with Chiron at 28 degrees Pisces, North Node at 29 degrees Cancer, and Jupiter at 29 degrees Scorpio, okay? With this grand water trine, it's really, really potent because they are connecting with healing. It's connecting with philosophical thinking and our life purpose. And I'm going to leave that at that, okay? And then also there's a T-square with Aries, Cancer, Libra. The T-square is with Uranus at 29 degrees Aries. Again, North Node, we're learning a lot here, folks. 29 degrees Cancer. And then Venus at 26 degrees Libra, retrograde. All these are retrograde. North Node naturally retrogrades. Uranus is retrograde, and Venus is retrograde, right? And so with these energies, I feel like this is learning more about self-acceptance, and with ourselves and within the relationships that we have, and the lessons we have to learn with that. Okay. Now I will get more in depth with the Patreon, folks. If you are interested, you can start as little as $2 a month. But there's other Patreon levels in which I give you like readings every month, y'all. Straight up readings every month. You fucking take advantage of that. I'm just saying. Okay? You should take advantage. And it's a great opportunity. All right? So just check it out. You can listen to the rest of this new moon video then. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful new moon, okay? Holla at me.